Hello everyone, I'm Cody.
And I'm Liz.
And welcome to Unit 1, Beach Burnout. Now, today I'm going to tell you quite a strange, unique story about a man living in Australia on the beach, kind of living off grid.
Live off the grid.
Live off the grid.
Now, this man's name is Darko Desic. Now, he is of Eastern European ethnicity, specifically from Yugoslavia. So I hope I say his name correctly. But you might be wondering, well, why is he, living on the beach? Well, he did this for about 30 years until he realized, this is getting old.
Get old.
Get old.
The reason he lived on the beach was back in 1992, he was initially arrested for growing cannabis, or commonly called marijuana. And he was supposed to serve a 3.5-year charge in prison. And somehow he got the tools in prison to, carve his way out of the bars or something like that. And he escaped a year into his sentence. And he had been essentially an escapee that whole time. And he actually went to an area of Australia, kind of a wealthy seaside area, and he, worked as a handyman and spent his time there over the past 30 years.
Handyman.
Handyman.
People in the community started calling him Dougie and accepted him, and they didn't know about his, more sinister past or kind of the illegal aspect. So, off of that more criminal and other aspect, I want to ask you about, do you enjoy going to the beach?
I grew up in Connecticut, so it's a very cold area of the country, and so there is a beach, but the water is very cold. Honestly, I didn't spend a lot of time at the beach as a child. And so really I prefer like mountains and lakes and rivers to going to the beach. The sand.
Right.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah, the sands aren't very well known in the Northeast of America, as what I know. Now, when I was younger as well, while I lived in Texas, which has a Gulf area, the beaches weren't great. They were decent in Gulf of Mexico.
Don't have a beach image of Texas either.
No, not at all. The best one is in the very southern part near Mexico.
Okay.
But you have to drive very, 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 very far. So, and on another question, have you ever been to Australia?
I have been to New Zealand many times. And every time I go, I stop in Australia. But I have only once been outside of the airport. So I've spent a lot of time in the Sydney airport, but not a lot of time in Australia.
Yeah, kind of as a stopover. Never been. I had originally plans to go in early 2020, and then,
that
we know what happened.
Didn't happen.
Yeah. I'm hoping to go next year for the same plans. But
are you looking forward to going to the beach?
Absolutely. To not surf it up, but I want to visit Bondi Beach. I heard it's very popular. But love to go to Australia, experience a lot of it.
Okay.
And now the language focus. First up, to no avail. So for my example, we tried to convince her grandpa to stop smoking, but to no avail.
The next language focus is, it is no wonder that. For example, it is no wonder that I stayed up all night because I had 2 cups of coffee before bedtime.
Well, that's it for our preview section, and we'll see you on the review.